So you guys are really big Stephen King fans. Did your fanness change the way you went into directing this film?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, like, when we read the original script, or, Paramount's been working on this movie for like 10 years trying to remake this. So there's been different versions of the script, and we actually made it our mission to bring things closer to the book, bring things back towards the book from some of the directions they were going, because we felt like, and that there were still some changes, even though we still wanted to give some people a fresh experience, and by making some surprising changes, we wanted to make sure that it still veered close to the novel in terms of theme and essence, and that we still captured what Stephen King was trying to get across.
Yeah, it was about like really just embracing the iconic elements of that story and saying, okay, it has Pennywise, Christine has the car, Pet Sematary has Zelda, it has Pascal, it has the road, it has the burial ground, it has all these iconic elements. Don't shy away from that stuff, embrace that stuff. That's what the fans want you to do.
In the woods today, LA discovered a charming little landmark.
The Pet Sematary.
I know there were a lot of changes to the story, and the one I think we can talk about is that Ellie died instead of Gage. Can you talk about the decision to make that change?
I think it really was stemming from a place that we wanted to really dig into the psychology behind this, and Ellie was the character that has the presence of mind to talk about these things. In the book, Ellie is the one asking all the questions about death. In the beginning, asking her dad, what happens when my cat dies? And we just thought that if it was the child asking these questions that was the one that died and came back and was now aware of herself as a reanimated person, then we could really dig into the psychology in a way that we couldn't with a 3-year-old.
Plus, how good was Jate, too? Come on.
Amazing.
That girl's a marvel.
I know, like watching her go out crazy.
Goes for it, man.
Great. Is it hard to direct a kid to basically be like a demon?
Not her. You would think so. I think that was one of our biggest fears when we were casting. It took a while to find her, because it's very easy to find, an adorable young kid that, could be precocious and melt the audience's heart, but to then flip that on its head and have everything she has to do in the second half of the movie, that was where we talked about it. We were like, I don't know if we could find a kid that could do that convincingly and it's not going to come across like shtick, So Jate was able to channel. I don't know, being 10 years old, I don't know what she's channeling, but she would go off for a few minutes and get in the mode and then come back and be like evil incarnate, And so she didn't really take she didn't need a ton of direction. She was able to turn it on and turn it off. And the minute we would say cut, it was like, can I get some apple juice? And we were like, oh, she's a kid again. Like what happened to the demon we were just directing? So that made our jobs a lot easier. So.
I noticed that there was the sign for dairy.
Yeah.
Is that a little ode to
it's Route 95 in Stephen King's Maine? That sign would be there.
I know it is the most current movie that's out, so it seems like the obvious connection. But we actually looked at a map of Stephen King's Maine, and we're like, if she was driving back from Boston, where would she be passing? And it was Jerusalem's Lot in the book. In Pet Sematary, she does pass Jerusalem's Lot, but
Castle Rock, the TV show, went and stole that. So
yeah, so
we actually had it in the script.
So, yeah.
They designed the sign, right?
Yeah.
And then we saw the TV show. We were like, they just did that. So we're like, all right, let's wink at it. Or, part 2's about to come out again. We're sitting in between part 1 and part 2. It might be kind of fun to acknowledge that.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy because when you look at a movie like this, what you think was CGI versus not, it's going to surprise you, because what is CGI is the sign, because we had to make a Jerusalem's Lot sign, and then when Castle Rock did it, we changed
So somewhere out there's a Jerusalem's Lot traffic sign that never got used in the movie.
We have a second chance.
Sometimes dead is better.